Did you know that the US dollar, despite being the world's most powerful currency, only makes up about 60% of global reserves? Or that the world's smallest currency unit, the Kuwaiti dinar, is worth more than 3 times the dollar? These facts are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to understanding why currencies have such different values. In this video, we're going to break down the real reasons behind currency differences and how the wealthy use this knowledge to build their fortunes. You'll learn how powerful nations control their money, how inflation can secretly drain your wealth, and how some currencies can make you rich if you know when and where to invest. Are you ready to see the world of money in a whole new light? Stick with us to uncover the secrets that the rich use to stay ahead. You might be surprised by what you don't know about how currency works. Let's dive in. Chapter 1. The Seed of Wealth. Understanding currency origins. Currencies didn't just appear out of nowhere. They evolved from simple systems of barter and trade, as humans sought a way to measure value and exchange goods. The first known currency was used in Mesopotamia around 3000 BCE. It was a form of silver, used for trading goods like grain and livestock. By the time the ancient Romans established their denarius, currency was already a tool for power. This historical evolution is key to understanding how different currencies hold different values today. Wealthy people know the value of history. They look at currencies as more than just money, they see them as products of civilization's development. The rich use history to predict trends and build their fortunes. For example, gold-backed currencies were once the norm, which is why the value of gold is still so important. This knowledge lets the rich anticipate what might come next in the world of currency. Chapter 2. The Economics of Power. Why wealthy nations control currency. Wealthy nations, like the US and Japan, have the power to control the value of their own currency through economic policies. The US dollar, for example, is considered the world's reserve currency. This means many countries hold it as a standard for trade, giving the US tremendous economic power. The rich understand that currency isn't just about numbers on a screen, it's about control. They monitor central banks closely, understanding how interest rates, inflation, and debt affect currency values. When the Federal Reserve adjusts interest rates, it directly influences the value of the dollar. In fact, a single decision by the Fed can move trillions in global assets. Knowing this, wealthy investors may buy assets in countries with stable currencies or hedge against currencies that are losing value. For instance, during economic instability, the rich often shift their money into the Swiss franc or gold because of their historical stability. Chapter 3. Inflation and Deflation. The silent forces of wealth. Inflation and deflation are silent forces that can make or break fortunes. Inflation reduces the value of money over time, which means people need more money to buy the same things. This is why, over the years, a loaf of bread becomes more expensive. The rich are acutely aware of inflation's effect on their purchasing power. They know that certain assets, like real estate or stocks, tend to rise in value as inflation increases. On the flip side, deflation can increase the value of currency. During a deflationary period, money becomes more valuable, and people can buy more with less. But for the rich, these forces aren't just problems to be solved, they're opportunities to exploit. During inflation, wealthy investors might diversify into commodities like oil or real estate, both of which tend to rise with inflation. During deflation, they may look for opportunities in undervalued currencies or assets. Understanding these cycles helps the rich predict which currencies will hold their value. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights into how the rich think and act with their money. Chapter 4. Global Wealth, Global Currencies. How the rich think on a world stage. The rich see currency through a global lens. They don't just think about the US dollar or the euro. They consider the value of currencies around the world. In fact, there are more than 180 currencies used worldwide. When you understand how currencies fluctuate in value against each other, you begin to see opportunities. Wealthy individuals and corporations know how to profit from these fluctuations. For instance, if the US dollar weakens, investors might switch to currencies like the Japanese yen or the British pound, which often hold their value better in times of instability. But currency trading isn't just for the ultra-rich. Even small investors can take advantage of currency markets. One of the simplest ways to do this is through forex, foreign exchange, trading, where people buy and sell currencies to profit from shifts in their value. The rich often hold multi-currency accounts, allowing them to take advantage of global shifts and mitigate risks associated with any single currency. They also invest in foreign markets to hedge against the instability of their home country's currency. Chapter 5. Rich Mindset. How to value currency beyond numbers. For the wealthy, currency isn't just about numbers, it's about power, strategy, and long-term thinking. Wealthy people understand that currency is more than what you can hold in your hand or transfer to a bank account. It's a tool for creating opportunities. Take Warren Buffett, for instance. Buffett often talks about how he sees currency as part of his global investment strategy. When the dollar is strong, he invests in foreign businesses. When it weakens, he invests in U.S. assets. This mindset allows the rich to make moves that seem counterintuitive to most people. The rich also look at currencies as a way to build long-term wealth, not just immediate profits. They often teach their children and heirs to think about money in terms of its ability to grow over time, rather than as a means for instant gratification. One rich person may say, "It's not about the money you make now, it's about the wealth you build for future generations." In other words, understanding currency allows you to think beyond today and focus on a richer tomorrow. Chapter 6. Teaching the future. Passing on the currency knowledge. One of the most important aspects of wealth building for the rich is education. They pass down their knowledge of currency values to the next generation. From a young age, children of wealthy families are taught about global economics and currency markets. This isn't just academic knowledge, it's practical know-how. For example, they might learn how to spot currency trends before they become mainstream. They also learn about diversifying investments into various currencies and assets to minimize risk. Rich families also emphasize the value of understanding how central banks influence currency. They teach their heirs that knowing when to act on currency movements is often the difference between making a fortune and losing everything. Wealthy individuals aren't just looking for a way to make money, they're looking for sustainable wealth strategies that span generations. As a result, many rich families have private wealth management strategies focused on safeguarding their currency holdings. They even teach their children how to respond when one currency is devalued or when a country's economy is in crisis. Thanks for sticking with us. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more valuable tips on how to think like the rich. The value of currency isn't set in stone. It's influenced by a complex web of factors that range from history and global politics to economic cycles and inflation rates. The wealthy understand this dynamic and use it to their advantage. Whether it's investing in foreign currencies or looking beyond today's numbers to tomorrow's wealth, they are always thinking ahead. By learning from their strategies and adapting them, anyone can start to understand why different currencies have different values, and use that knowledge to their advantage.